You know, when you talk about nonprofits, you're really talking about organizations in town that meet some need. And we have all kinds of needs. Some are more glaring than others, but some are ones that we don't really think of sometimes as important. The need today is really more important in this program than you would think. And we have someone here who has been part of this for many, many years. It's Jason Brusnovich.
Brasovich.
Brasovich. And Jason has been in part of Close the Deal. Now, close is spelled a different way. It's like something you wear rather than a closure. But I'm so pleased that we have someone here talking about something that is really so important to people that need this. Jason, welcome to you. We're so glad you're here. Thank you.
Thank
Vanessa will get to you in a minute. Okay, tell us what Close the Deal is.
It's a nonprofit. We're pretty small in size. We only have 4 employees. We serve all of Los Angeles. We're located just outside Long Beach and Downey. And we focus on a niche service, kind of how you said, something that maybe not everyone thinks of every day. It's business clothing to low-income job seekers.
Business clothing to job seekers, low income.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, well, now that says a lot. I want to know how they find you. I want to know how you get your clothes. I want to know how you use your volunteers. Now, let's talk a little bit.
We spend, I guess, a lot of time finding our clients. The easiest way to do that is we spend time building partnerships with other nonprofits and government agencies who focus on employment training. Employment training, vocational training, there's actually quite a lot in Long Beach and in LA and in the greater Los Angeles area. So we focus on these nonprofits, and they help make sure that everyone that gets referred to us is low income and absolutely ready for employment, and they're all in the interview process. So it makes sure that all of our services are targeted to everyone who is intended for it.
So if someone just came to your door and said, I need something, could you help them?
Oh yeah, we do. We just don't spend a lot of time advertising and marketing. You're not going to see our commercials on television or on the radio.
Well, you've been at this since the early 2000.
Yeah. Well, Close the Deal started in 1995. There was a short period where the founder had started Close the Deal for a school project. She was getting her MBA from UCLA. And from the time she founded it, and from the time she graduated, I think it just really took off. Within, I think around 2002, the founder was able to find an employment elsewhere. And it really was just a school project. She didn't have any special interest within the community or the services that Closed the Deal. So when she took off, the organization kind of had to rebuild itself, and there was a real chance that it just would have closed.
And like, how many people do you help or have you helped? Or
since I've been with Close the Deal, it's about 2008, working full time, we've averaged about 4,000 to 4,500 per year. Those are the clients we serve. We get a lot of our information from the agencies that refer us, and then the walk-in clients that we keep track of. It's about 4,500 annually. We have our success rate, how we measure success, I guess clients that have gotten employed after coming to us, is always between 62 and 68%. We never fall below 60. We never break the 70%.
That's great.
So it translates to about 2,500 to 2,800 of our clients find employment.
And do you dress them for the specific job, or do they just dress?
It's specific for the interview. With the exception of construction, that's the one job you kind of want to show up with your work boots and hammer, because you might get placed that same day. every other job, if it's janitorial, security, office job, you kind of has the same guidelines of what the job interview attire is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a conservative business clothing,
Mm-hmm.
shirt, slacks, jacket. We would always suggest you bring a tie and be prepared to have a tie if you really,
If you have one.
if you really hate the tie, you could always call ahead and get questions about the interview, what kind of
Mhm.
environment it's going to be, and
Mhm.
things like that, so you can kind of start to fine tune it.
Well, tell me where you get the clothes and how you use your volunteers.
Um, Clothing drives. We also have about 12 different drop-off locations that open up their business. A lot of them are dry cleaners, law firms, just regular offices where they accept our donations during their business hours. They distribute our tax receipts and we pick them up once a week.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we get most of our individual drop-offs or donations. But then we also work with large corporations, DirecTV, Southern California Edison. They'll have their whole headquarters or each department do drives.
Mm-hmm. Or if somebody just wanted to donate clothes to you that were business type clothes, you'd accept that.
Yeah, those usually would go to one of our drop-off spots,
Mhm.
which collect clothes year-round.
And you need them dry cleaned, and you need to make sure that they have all the buttons and all of that.
We appreciate it if they're in good condition and been in your closet. You don't have to get them dry cleaned again. They just have to be something that you would wear yourself to an interview that day.
Mm-hmm.
So as if you get it at the bottom of your hamper, we don't really appreciate that. If there's
Okay.
full of cat hair, things
Okay.
like that.
And tell me about volunteers. You said you did have volunteers that work with you.
Yeah, we do. We get about 40,000 donated pieces of clothing each year.
Hmm.
It's a volunteer heavy task. So
And what do they do?
they sort out anything that's not appropriate for our boutique. So if it's not
Mm-hmm.
business
Or if
attire.
it's in disrepair.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that have small stains that you have to have an eye for around the collar, the armpits, things that are damaged, moth holes,
Mm-hmm.
and just things that aren't business attire at all.
Mhm.
A lot of people just clean out their closets, and we've gotten our program to the point where we could sort it out quickly, and we kind of redistribute it to another nonprofit. We work with a
Mhm.
lot of different shelters that could use the casual clothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then even the stuff that we don't want to encourage anyone giving us their trash, like I said, if it's
Mhm.
covered in cat hair or something like that. But we have clothing recycling companies that will pick it up.
I see.
So it helps us if it is pressed and clean and ready for an interview. But if it's not, we could still
And do you
manage it.
go pick them up, the clothes up, or is there a...
We pick them up from the
Volunteers?
drop-off locations.
I see.
Yeah,
I see.
we pick up most of the donations.
Okay, Vanessa, now it's your turn. You're sitting there quietly. How do you involve yourself with Close the Deal?
Well, I came in first as a participant. Now I'm.
Oh, you were looking for clothes for...
I was, yes. And now I'm an employee, a part-time employee. So,
So when you got all dressed up, they hired you, huh?
yeah.
And what do you do now?
I help, like when the donations come in, I help sort the clothing. I make sure it's in good condition. I help put it out in the boutique. If there's any clients that come into the boutique, I help them look for clothing.
So you have you actually have a storefront with clothes. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I work with the clients and help them find what they're looking for. But for the most part, I'm like behind the scenes, I guess. I'm just organizing the clothing, sorting it, making sure it's on the correct hangers and stuff like
So you know what they're going through then, the people that come in to find clothes, being as you've experienced it yourself.
that. Definitely, yeah.
So you know how important it is.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it kind of helps me relate to them as well. Coming from the other side, I guess. You kind of go in not knowing what to expect, but once you go, everybody's really friendly, they're warm, inviting, and you know that they're there to help you. So that's what I really like about it.
Now, do you have is it a storefront that they go in, or is it you come in by appointment?
Not a traditional storefront. One of our partners that we work with is Los Angeles County Office of Education. They run employment programs. Our main, we call it a distribution center. That's where we have our office spaces and our main boutique. I guess Vanessa described it. And most of that space is donated in kind to us in return for the services we provide to their clients.
I see.
And it has its advantages. Obviously, we're sharing resources, so our occupancy expense is low. But it's
That's
not.
good.
It's not a traditional storefront.
Okay. If someone wanted to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Our website is the easiest place to start. CloseTheDeal.org. If you don't have that, you could.
That's CLOTHES.
Yeah, clothes and clothing. CloseTheDeal.org. You could always. There's a county-run database, 211, that has every nonprofit and government agency. That's where most of the individuals find us that aren't
I see.
referred.
Well, this has been very interesting because we haven't heard of Close the Deal, but just knowing that it's there and knowing that it is available is a godsend to some people. So I thank you very much for being here, Jason. Nice to meet you.
You
And
too.
Vanessa, nice to meet you too.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll talk with you later, I'm sure. Thanks a lot. And thank all of you for being with us again today for the two important programs that we've had showing what nonprofits do for you.